animals. Their olfaction is normal, their social behavior is normal, their learning and memory is normal, all of that. So this is not just a generically screwy animal. So you say, okay, well, it's not that, but Toxo seemingly knows how to destroy sort of fear and anxiety circuits. But it's not that either, because these are rats who are still innately afraid of bright lights. They're nocturnal animals. They're afraid of big open spaces. You can condition them to be afraid of novel things. The system works perfectly well there. Somehow Toxo can laser out this fear pathway, this aversion to predator odors. So we go and start looking at this, and I had this amazing postdoc named Ajay Vyas who joined my lab and decided to gamble his entire career on whether it's possible to figure out what's going on. And so the first thing you do is you introduce Toxo into a rat, and it takes about 6 weeks for it to migrate from its gut up into its nervous system. And at that point, you kind of look, where has it gone in the brain? It forms these cysts, these sort of latent encapsulated cysts, and it winds up all over the brain. So that was like deeply disappointing. But then you look at how much winds up in different areas of the brain, and it turns out Toxo preferentially knows how to home in on the part of the brain that is all about fear and anxiety, a brain region called the amygdala. The amygdala is where you do your fear conditioning. The amygdala is what's hyperactive in people with post-traumatic stress disorder. The amygdala is all about pathways of predator aversion, all those sorts of things, and Toxo knows how to get in there. Next, we then see that Toxo can take the dendrites, the branching cables that neurons have to connect to each other, and it shrivels them up in the amygdala. It's disconnecting circuits. You wind up with fewer cells there. So this is this parasite that is unwiring this stuff in the critical part of the brain for fear and anxiety. Okay, that's really interesting. That doesn't tell us a thing, though, about why it's only predator aversion that's been knocked out, whereas fear of bright lights, etc., is still in there. It knows how to find that particular circuitry. Okay, so what's going on from there? What's it doing? Because it's not just destroying this fear aversive response, it's creating something new. It's creating an attraction to the cat urine. So here's where this gets utterly bizarre. So you look at, circuitry in the brain, and there's a reasonably well-characterized circuit that activates neurons becoming metabolically active, circuits where they're talking to each other, reasonably well understood circuit that's involved in predator aversion. And it involves neurons in the amygdala getting excited, neurons in the hypothalamus, some other brain regions, very well-characterized circuit. Meanwhile, there's well-characterized circuits having to do with sexual attraction. And it happens, part of it courses through the amygdala, which is pretty interesting in and of itself, and those go off into different areas of the brain than the fear pathways. So you look now at a normal rat, and you expose them to cat urine, cat pheromones, and exactly as you would expect, they have a stress response, their stress hormone levels go up, and they activate this classical fear circuitry in the brain. Now you take a Toxo-infected rat right around the time where they start liking the smell of cat urine, and you take them and you expose them to cat pheromones, and you don't get the stress hormone release. And what you get is the fear circuit doesn't activate normally, and the sexual arousal circuit activates a bit. In other words, Toxo knows how to hijack this sexual reward pathway. And you get males infected with Toxo and expose them to a lot of the rodent and the cat pheromones, and their testes get bigger. Somehow, this damn parasite knows how to make cat urine smell sexually arousing to male rodents, and they go and check it out. Totally amazing. So on a certain level, that explains everything. Aha, it takes over sexual arousal circuitry. This is utterly bizarre. At this point, we don't know what the basis is of the attraction in the females, something we're working on. So last totally crazy piece of the story, and this was some extremely nice work done by a group at Leeds.